The people now called Negroes are the most and the least understood of the world's people.
Let's give it up to this band. Oh my goodness, this kid so popping. Oh my goodness. Man. Yo, we need to get in the studio and do an album or something after that. My goodness. It takes a lot sometimes when you look at history and then you look at where, the present time. I want you to encourage those who might not have been here how important this piece of art is. This is not just a silent film, it's a piece of moving art. And it's always reinventing itself. Like the artists today, they did not rehearse any of this. This is their spirit interacting with the silent film. And so they were definitely on the one. I know that there was a move of spirit and energy in the room. I could definitely feel it. And it's a beautiful thing when people can come together and be in collaboration like that. And I think that's what it fits with the theme of the Lost Negroes of North America. Oftentimes in the images that are presented with Black folks in media, it looks nothing like that. And we know that there's different stories, and we know that there are great stories amongst our people. But there's always great attack. And so not having a resource, an abundance of affirming media, sometimes even affirming art when it's so quick to be commodified and sold for something that does not necessarily empower, our youth is it's something we have to always question ourselves generationally about. I want to say that this is like, sometimes art can be presented as a scream or a holler or an exhale. I think this is all that. This is giving honor to our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and those even before that. For that 10-year window here in America, for a very short period of time, the average Black per capita family income rose above all other groups. That's documented by the United States government. And that's not a narrative that we hear. So a part of, I think, what is the purpose of hearing this story right now in this place and this time, especially when we're dealing with a lot of questions around immigration, is who we stand on the shoulders for all the opportunities and all the things that people can come and benefit in quotes. A lot of that came from those great people who fought many battles. If you think about it, 2025 and the themes of what's happening even in politics, there's nothing different than in 1945. But I also know the urgency was, and the adversity was way more at that time. But for some reason, even in a segregated society, not to say that that doesn't exist now, but more in firm lines drawn, these folks was able to maintain family, community, wealth, institutions, education, and a whole bunch of pillars for any thriving group. We have to ask ourselves sometimes, and this is what I wanted to kind of just really speak about briefly before we open it up. But was integration really about integrating economies? Or was it really integrating us as like equally human beings? And I think, sometimes we can draw a conclusion that it was definitely about integrating economies, because you had these great nationhood that was happening right here within this country that in some kind of way was targeted for their economic prosperity. Not to say that all of us were that picture, but isn't it good to see something where nobody's dying, where there is no narrative about nothing else except affirming man, woman, child, family, community, and institutions around that in nature, which is what North America represents. Generations after a migration from the south to the north, and these communities was all over. But isn't it ironic that I'm coming to you from Minneapolis? Brother Tyrone is in the audience, and my sister is coming to you from St. Paul. But isn't it ironic that all of this footage, most of it, I would say 75% of it maybe, came from the same neighborhood where George Floyd was killed years later? That's my community. I live 8 blocks away from that. And it doesn't look like that anymore. And matter of fact, it looks worse since it happened in 2020, where billions of dollars were put into that neighborhood. And I could say here and argue that the people haven't benefited at all. So the question about what do we do as artists, what do we do as musicians, what do we do as people who look at all these conditions and have some willingness, some courage to care about things. We have to figure out how to interpret this, because our youth are watching.